welcome to Angie's clever commentary on her own artwork. Today we are drawing a scene from a thing that my friends and I are writing about. It is a date/proposal between my character and my friend's character, and so he's taking everybody out on a ride. So his best friend Cody, who my friend writes for, and then Cody's girlfriend, another friend writes for, and Jameson, my character, his fiance, Nim. And so everybody's going out on a ride, and Jameson's bright idea is to also squeeze in teaching the foals how to pony. And so right now I'm drawing Samson, which is Lilith's foal, and he is going to be a Puyo, which is kind of a mousy brown color. Out there, I had to change programs. Yes, so that's why that happened. And now I'm working on Delilah, which is Cecily's foal, and she's not supposed to really have a mane, or a big one at least, because she's half Appaloosa, and Appaloosas don't really have much fancy hair going on for them. Yeah, here is where I compare the size to make sure that she's comparable. Her head seems giant still, but it seemed to work out fairly well. Anyway, so they're going on this date and they're dragging the babies along with them. And it's kind of fun, I suppose. Babies are always fun, as long as they're animal babies. Human babies aren't so fun. Oh yes, having trouble with her hoof. Yeah, a lot of these poses were really awkward. I had to look up a whole bunch of horses walking in profile, which was difficult. I'm pretty sure that some of them were trotting, but I don't really care. It's done now. And there the two babies are, all lined up and ready to go. And there's Keeper, and me looking for reference. And more reference. And then this is me realizing I didn't give any of them chestnuts. And so I'm remedying that fact. And here we all are. Now for coloring Keeper. And he is a Tobero, which is a mixture of two kinds of paint horses. And so he has really jagged edges on his markings. But right now I'm doing his extra bits. And I have a little layer problem, and I realized I should have made those on a different layer, and managed to cut part of his tail and his mane out while doing so. So now I'm just kind of fixing my mess up, which works out fairly well. I've messed up enough times to be quite used to fixing my own mistakes. I'm now coloring his chestnuts, and now it's time for white. Oh boy, he has so much white. And that's where it gets annoying, because he has very specific markings, as Toberos and Overos do. Their markings are supposed to look like jigsaw puzzles, kind of. So they're supposed to be jagged and very specific, while Tobiano paint horses have kind of blobs. And so you can just kind of slap white on them and say, hey, that's a marking. So I'm refining the edges for him right now. And I'm going to run out of things to say about him, because I'm going to tell you right now, giving him all his markings took a very long time. Oh boy. So I guess back to the date RP. Oh, Skype. Anyway, so Jameson decided that Kiefer would be a good one to use, maybe because that would give him more points in the group that I'm in, that has, like, you make your own barn and you fill it with horses of your own design, and you show them, and all sorts of fun stuff. And he is supposed to be my champion horse, which is kind of funny, because he's not a desirable horse, not to mention he's a mutt, so most people want to breed their horses to really successful horses, and I think it's going to be kind of funny to have a successful horse who isn't necessarily desirable in any other sense. So he's going to be slightly frustrating. Do I want to breed with this horse because he has lots of points that would help my baby? Probably not. He's a mutt. Why would I do that? But I think it will be nice. He has a lot of good qualities to him to be showing. And so he's going to be in a show fairly soon. It's going to come during my finals week, which I am not terribly happy about. You have to pre-register for some shows, and, you know, when I pre-register, I'm like, hey, I sure have lots of time between here and now, so I can do it right now, or do it soon, and I'll have good amounts of time before I actually have to submit to the show. But I never do. I always wait until last minute. And last minute happens to be during my final week, which is not my favorite. So, I'm going to have to think about how to maneuver that. I'm not sure what exactly to do. But I'm kind of burnt out on horses, to be honest. And just, by the way, there are going to be humans in this picture as well. They're all going to be ridden, as per the storyline. So there's going to be 4 people, and there's going to be 4 saddles, and 4 bits of tack, and tack is one of the more annoying things to draw, because it's very technical. I'm not really a technical sort of person. Anyway, moving on. This is Torin, which is his real-life counterpart is named Woody, and Woody was my horse at my work, and I took him home / to college for a year, and that was fun. It was nice having a pony around, and I drew him in typical Woody / Torin demeanor, so he's being grumpy, and probably going to kick the horse that's behind him, which is poor unfortunate Samson the foal, which Jameson planned because he wanted Samson to realize that he couldn't go butting in front of everyone and that he actually has to stand in line, because Samson doesn't believe in standing in line. And so that was the training idea. And the Torin / Woody is kind of a challenging horse, and so he had to kind of put Brenna, his best friend's girlfriend, on a fairly dangerous horse, but she doesn't mind, because she has a horse of her own, and is a big girl and can take care of herself. So you saw that he went by pretty fast. Now, Lilith, she's a little bit more difficult because she's a roan, and so right now I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to do this. And I changed the background color so I could actually see if I was coloring outside the lines. And apparently I'd done a good job. So that was good. But back to being a roan. So a roan means that she has a whole bunch of white flecks in the middle of her body, which you can't actually see when I'm drawing right now because it's very light. But you can kind of see that she's getting more white around her midsection. And so roan is a coloration that has a normal colored hair and then a white colored hair, and kind of a pattern. And so it only happens on their midsection, so their legs and their face are their normal color without any white interfering. Lilith is also a dun, so she has zebra stripes on her legs and on her shoulder, as well as a little bit on her face, but it's hard to see. I usually have fun drawing zebra stripes, but today was not my day. It just didn't want to come out. So, duns also have a dark top line and a very noticeable dark line along their back, but you can't see it from this angle. And filling in the rest of her colors. I was expecting her hooves to be darker in comparison to her legs, but apparently I just did that successfully on a different drawing. And this time she's going to be kind of blending. It might be because of the background color I gave her too. So now I'm going to show her white markings. And so that's not too exciting actually. So you can kind of see when I zoomed in that her body is lighter. And, oh, I forgot to give them their brands. And so now I'm fixing the whole brand situation. Trying to make them even. Which is supposed to kind of show their size difference, because Kiefer is supposed to be giant, and Torin is supposed to be tiny. At this point I was kind of like, oh, I don't really want to do this anymore. But Cecily/Dakota, another one of quote-unquote my horses, is very easy. She's just black and white. She only has a little bit of white on her. It's in her face. She has a cute little white face. So she's technically a paint because of her white face, but she doesn't clearly have white markings aside from that, which is usually what shows a paint. So she's kind of confusing in that respect. I realize that she's too dark, and that the white that I gave her is not really that very white. So now I have to change her muzzle color, so it's not as dramatic. That took a little bit. And now it's time for the babies. And so Samson, is around just like his mother. And I got him because that's one of my favorite colors. That would be a dream horse to have a fluo paint. Roan especially.